What's up everybody, this is BS for Build. I'm Chris. In this episode we are continuing work on our rear quarter panel replacement for our Subaru BRZ. In the last episode we popped a lot of the spot welds off of this piece. Now we need to focus on the top roof line and the rear of this piece to pull the outer skin off, and then we're going to step over and work on our BRZ and start doing the same thing, removing the damaged piece. In this episode we are going to have both the pieces removed, and then the next episode we're going to weld them back together. Stay tuned. Alright, it is really cold out here today, and it's supposed to rain, or possibly might be the first episode where we get snow. I have the canopy in case that happens, and I got lights for when we lose daylight, which will probably be about an hour. And I'm freezing, so I just want to start getting moving. I'm going to start on this. I want to start back here, but I think for some reason I should start on the roof. Man, I don't know. This is a tough one. Great filming I'm doing. I mean, it's just, the direction is immaculate. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Uh-oh, somebody lost their job last time they did that. I'm gonna work over here. So I'm gonna start it back here, popping this thing off, and dig into this, learn a little bit more about how this is attached to the car, and then start taking it off. Alright, with enough chiseling, we did learn some stuff about how this thing is attached. You can kind of see right here is this plastic kind of synthetic stuff that they have to join these two pieces of metal. There's a piece here and a piece here. And then you can see these little divots kind of right here. Well, very hard to see. But that's where there's a spot weld joining these two pieces of metal as well. And then this piece of metal basically bends up. There's a lip here, and it comes all the way down and becomes the hood. The roof, sorry. And if we look under here, well, you're not really going to be able to see anything, but you can see that lip. This is the lip that we were just looking at, but from the other side. So, what I have decided that I want to try and do is I'm going to take out the rest of this gasketing. I'm going to chisel it out. I'm going to drill out the spot welds, and then I'm going to cut the rest of this roof off. I'm going to make a cut here, and I'm going to cut inside that crease along here, and just cut this whole roof off, saving this little bit of about a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 inch of metal. Right here, it'll have a bunch of holes in it where I drilled out the spot welds. I'm going to save that metal because it's going to help me weld it onto the next car. And I think in this case, it's kind of like cutting hair. It's better to have more metal, and we can always trim it off later, than have not enough metal to weld it back on. So that's the game plan. Alright, well that did not turn out the way I had intended. Once I started making this close cut, the metal that is deep in the rail just started kind of acting up and flipping around and coming off. And this is exactly why I wanted to start cutting on the practice piece and err on the side of messing up the piece that we don't need. So after I did that and I realized, okay, this outer piece isn't really loosening up, I just made a cut back here and a cut in front of here to be able to pull this roof off. Now, have to keep in mind that on my car, I won't be able to pull the roof off because I got to keep the roof. But I'm doing this so I can then learn about what is going on in here and apply it better in the other one. Okay, little peely. Well, this is not exactly good news. It looks like that the rear quarter panel skin goes under the hood line. Like I said, I don't want to remove the hood from my car. I keep saying hood, roof. It's a roof. The quarter panel skin goes underneath the roof, and the roof skin goes over it. I guess I could drill out the spot welds on my roof and peel the roof off, but man, that would be a lot of craziness. All right, quick timeout. I'm gonna go grab the lights so we can see into the dark, and I'm gonna start learning a little bit more about this, and then figure out how I wanna manage this. But all is well. We have plenty of metal to work with. We got lots of material, so it can't be too big of a problem. All right, well, we are lit up. Well, as lit up as we're gonna get. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to angle these lights around here. And we got a game plan. Well, as much of a game plan as we're gonna get. What I decided was, because it turns out that this skin is really spot welded in a bunch of different layers and angles onto the inside and onto the roof. And since I'm not willing to take off my roof, I'm gonna do this in a little bit different way than what I've been doing before. And rather than, you know, drilling out spot welds and pulling it apart like the same way the factory put it back together, this is where I'm kind of going off the book, and I'm going to do it my own way. Now, this thing that we've been working in, this is a drain rail that goes, it's on the very top of the car, and it's covered by this big, like almost 1-inch thick plastic piece of stripping, like weather stripping. So this definitely needs to be watertight. That's one thing to keep in mind. But the other thing is, people aren't going to be able to see down here. It's covered up by a piece of plastic. So that's a good spot to do my welds anyways. So what I've decided is, rather than drilling out more spot welds, I'm going to grab the cutter and I'm going to cut inside this crease on the closest side to out here, and I'm just going to cut it off of itself from running the whole length of this top drain rail. Once we get back to the lower half, then I'm going to go back to drilling out spot welds and peeling the two pieces of metal apart. I'm doing this just because then when I meet this, it'll make a 90-degree with the gutter on this car, and I'll just throw my welds right there inside that corner. It'll be a nice little contained area for me to do my welding, and it'll all be hidden, which is good. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut that, and then we're gonna work back there, and then we get to the really tricky stuff in the back. Alright, we're back. Slight departure from the original game plan. I did go ahead and assemble the B is for Build Wonder tent. I'm not stoked about this tent. I don't know if you guys saw this on Facebook or whatever, but after the last episode where we used this tent, the wind picked up later that night. The tent literally lifted up, flew over the BRZ, and flew backwards and landed on top of my Camaro and my Mustang and scratched the hell out of them, and then bent itself pretty out of shape. So I wasn't happy with that, and I really didn't want to use it, but for now, the rain picked up and we don't have any other option. And I was smarter this time, and I put some stabilizers on the legs. I didn't have any cinder blocks, but I grabbed a set of BRZ rims and tires and zip tied them onto the legs of this thing so it will not go flying. Anyways, what that does is it sets us up. We're weatherproof for the time being, so now I can work as late as just to when I don't need to make noise, or when I can't be making any more noise. So that'll give me a couple more hours tonight. We're back here. I got all that rubber off, and the next step is to find all the spot welds. They're a little bit hard to find. I'm going to find all the spot welds and drill them out. Alright, I've got to the point where it's time to start cutting again, so I got my cutting wheel. I would like to use the body saw for this, but unfortunately I can't because I broke it earlier. So I've got the cutting blade on the rotary tool. I've marked out my line. I'm going straight through the back here, underneath here, through here, and across here. That will get our skin off of the back end, and then we'll move up to this where the rear glass is. We're going to do that, and then when we cut off the front, that should be it, and we should be able to pull this thing apart. Fingers crossed. All right, well, we are really close, but unfortunately we're just not close enough. I got everything off from around this rear glass, and it's still hung up on the back a little bit, but unfortunately I gotta stop working right now. It's getting too late, I'm making too much racket, and it's too cold and too rainy. So I'm gonna pack it up for tonight. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and keep going on it. What's up? I'm back. It's officially tomorrow. That's right, I made it to the future. So I got back to this and just started poking around at it, and it's just not loosened up as much as I want, so because it's still welded onto the inner skin. I think I need to give some love back here. I basically made a mistake when I was cutting. I cut it off of a piece of metal that later on underneath down here is still attached to the rest of the frame, so it can't detach it from the two. So I'm gonna grab my body saw and try and cut that out, and I'm just gonna keep, you know, poking at things with different tools and progressing along. When we ended yesterday, we were going through this whole area, and that worked out real well. This is nice and loose and no longer attached. And then we have this door jamb hook down here that we're gonna need to take off as well. So we get started on all that fun stuff. All right, we're getting really close. There's a little bit of stray metal that was holding a couple pieces on, so I'm just using my body saw. I know I've said this in other episodes, but man, when you're doing this job, pick up a body saw from wherever sells cheap tools around you. It's a small little reciprocating saw, small blade. These things work great. They don't chew up a lot of your metal either. I should have been using this earlier in the project. So next up, I'm going to take this off because I think that's really hanging on there. All right, well, this quarter panel is not exactly jumping off of its inner skin, so I'm gonna be, I know I need to make one more cut. We gotta make the cut for up here. So on my car, I've looked and it's damaged to about right here, so I'm just gonna make a cut way up here, save a lot of extra metal just in case for when we go to the next car. And then after that, I'm just gonna start hunting around and trying to find out what has got this thing attached and won't let it come off the car. As you can see though, we're pretty close. There must just be a couple spot welds. It feels like there's almost something around here. So, you know, we'll just keep, I'm gonna cut that and then I'll keep looking. Did I catch that on film? Is it off? It's off! The moment we've all been waiting for. I took a piece of metal off of another piece of metal. Woo! All right, we got our skin, our quarter panel skin. And now this took me about, I don't know, maybe 8 hours. And I was going slowly to be careful to not damage this piece, which you guys that watch the channel know that's kind of hard for me. And then I also wanted to learn about how it's connected so I could find the best way to undo the damaged piece on my car without damaging the actual car. But I was thinking today at work, I was thinking, you know, it might be a lot faster and a lot more efficient to order this skin from like the Subaru dealership, or not really a dealership, but you know, like a Subaru parts department or something like that. You might be able to pick this up for $300 or something like that, and that might save you like 8 or 9 hours in your project. It's just a thought. For me, this was definitely the way to go, and I'm happy that I did it, but because I learned a lot about how I'm going to take the next piece off. But if you're doing this at home and you got a damaged one, and I don't know, it's an option. I just want to let you guys know about the option. And the best way to get rid of these things, if you're in the United States or anywhere that has Craigslist or any type of classified ad, drag this out to the side of your house, the front of your house, and post a classified ad as free scrap metal, and people will come and pick these up. This thing will be gone by tomorrow. I'm just going to donate it to free scrap metal. A lot of people have charities where they go pick up scrap metal and give the money to people that need it more than you. So that's pretty awesome. Alright, now that I got this skin, I'm going to get rid of some of these parts and figure out what to do next. Alright, that's it. I think I got enough footage to make an episode. I didn't want to draw this one out. It is a long, tedious process doing this quarter panel, much longer than I thought. And that's probably why it's so expensive to pay a body shop to do it. But we got our rear skin off, and it is kind of not damaged. It's not damaged. I want to knock on wood, but I don't. Anyways, it's not damaged, and that is like a miracle for BS for Build. And I haven't even tried to paint it yet, so this is great. Thank you guys very much for watching. I want to thank everyone for buying a key tag. The key tags look a little like this, and they really support the channel. So thank you guys very much for buying the key tags. You can find them at bsforbuild.com. Scroll down to the shop, click on the key tag if you want to get one of your own. I order these key tags, I make these key tags, I package them, and I ship them all out personally. There's no like third party. I'm not just waiting for a check at the end of the month. Any extra money that I can collect after these key tags goes directly into the builds and directly into these car parts. I'm not sitting on a yacht or taking helicopter rides. I'm buying car parts because race car. So thank you guys all for watching. Please hit the like button on this video if you like this video, and please subscribe. It all helps out a lot. Thanks again. That's it. Tune in this weekend for another video. Peace.